Breakfast Club, released in 1985, and is directed by John Hughes, who's behind such other classic 80s teenage comedies such as 16 Candles, Weird Science. He's behind Vacation, the National Lampoon's Vacation series, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Uncle Buck, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, so many. And this film stars Judd Nelson, Anthony Michael Hall, Maggie Ringwald, Emilio Estevez, Ali Sheedy, and Paul Gleason. 5 teenagers find themselves in detention on a Saturday morning, all from different aspects of the social zeitgeist of high school. And it is a day full of comedy, wild happenings, and a lot of self-discovery. And I believe that this is my first John Hughes film that I'm reviewing on the channel, and he is behind, gosh, anyone who was a teenager in the 80s, or anyone who was a kid in the 80s, just grew up idolizing the movies that he produced. Now, I was born in 1988, so I didn't really grow up my childhood with John Hughes that much. I grew up watching a ton of National Lampoon's Vacation movies. Like Christmas Vacation, that is my go-to. He didn't direct those films, but he is behind the writing of them. And when this film came out in 1985, this was John Hughes' second directing credit. To which, as I was doing my research, I found out that the studio was very hesitant about him directing this movie because they didn't want it to be a flop, but then they realized, well, we're only giving you $1 million to direct this thing, so I guess if it's a flop, it's not that big of a loss for us. $1 million for this movie, and it's one of the greatest teenage comedies, dramedies of all time. And it's all due to the fantastic characters that we have here. All of them representing 5 different constructed societies when it comes to a high school culture. You have the privileged preppy kids, you have the brain, you have the jock, you have the bully, you have the socially awkward ones. So this movie, I wonder if it started with John Hughes just thinking of like a terrible high school joke. It's like one of those jokes where you go, so-and-so and so-and-so walk into a bar. Well, these 5 different teenagers in high school walk into a high school library. And that's what we get here. This movie is all about the story and the characters. It's all about their relationship and their interaction with each other. It's about them airing their grievances with the other type of high school and type of teenager. And then through this venting out of all 5 of them, they do some serious self-discovery, which I think is absolutely necessity, especially when you're coming up and when you're growing up and when you're a teenager and chemicals are flowing and things in life are changing. You're moving from one stage of life to the other, at least you're about to, and things get confusing and you have a lot of stress put on your shoulders and can develop a lot of anxiety and you can kind of go insane. But this film is so intelligent with its use of conversation and debating back and forth between these characters. Emilio Estevez is here, who I think has probably one of the most recognizable faces from my childhood because I grew up with Mighty Ducks. This is a young Gordon Bombay here. He plays the jock and he is here because he beat up on essentially a weakling in his class. And it's my favorite venting session in the movie when he decides to share why he did that and the pressures that he is under. And I think that's the only time I've ever seen Emilio Estevez cry on screen. I'm trying to think if he's cried before in any other movie. I don't think so. I think he's just been stone-faced. If you can think of anything, please comment below, but this is the only time I think he's ever cried on screen. Molly Ringwald is here, who was almost in every single one of John Hughes' teenage films, and she plays the preppy, privileged student. She's able to buy herself all these fancy clothes, and she sees herself on top of this mountain of the social construct of high school with everyone else looking up at her, or at least the class that she associates herself with, which at times when I first saw this movie, which actually wasn't that long ago, I think I saw it maybe junior or senior year of high school, so I was kind of already going through this. But it's hard for me to connect with her character and her social aspect that she connects herself with, because I wasn't part of that crowd. I'm not saying that she's immune to any anxieties or depression or pressure at all, but just for me, trying to relate to her, I wasn't a part of that, so I really couldn't figure out where you were coming from. Anthony Michael Hall is here. He was in a lot of John Hughes movies as well. Probably the one that I relate myself to the most. He's the brain. He's always focused on assignments and his grades. That's the big pressure that he has, is always having to have that 4.0. I was never a 4.0 student in high school or even in undergrad. I didn't really hit that 4.0 tier until I got to graduate school. But my brother was always the 4.0 student, so when I got into high school and after I followed suit with him, of course, I had to get the 4.0, and didn't really happen for me. I would get A's in almost everything. There would be one section where I would get a B or maybe a low B. potentially a C in it. And I relate to his character so much because when you don't get all A's and your parents expect that from you and they put so much pressure on you, you have a lot of pent-up aggression and a lot of pent-up anxiety when you don't bring that home. Only I could go back in time and tell my younger self that grades do not matter. Judd Nelson, he's probably what this film is known for. He has the most dialogue. He is the class clown. He is the bully. He has all of the shocking reveals with the cigarette burn on his arm. He's the rebellious one, putting his feet up on the desk, telling the assistant principal to go himself.
What was that?
Eat my shorts.
You just bought yourself another Saturday, mister. Are you through?
No.
I've got you for the rest of your natural-born life if you don't watch your step. You want another one?
Yes.
You got it. You got another one right there. That's another one, pal. The next time I have to come in here, I'm cracking skulls.
His character is definitely the most fun to watch. The casting choice, though, it's strange, because all of these people are in, like, at least their late 20s, probably their early 30s. I haven't done the research on it, but with Judd Nelson, you can see the gray in the front of his hair when he's sitting at the desk. You're not fooling anyone. Unless he has some kind of genetic coding that makes him gray a lot sooner in life. He doesn't. He's just too old to play a teenager. But I love this movie. It's one location, so it's not extravagant in any way. The cinematography, I mean, there's really nothing there. This is really about the story, the dialogue, and these characters. Which is why the studio is okay with John Hughes directing, because you got $1 million, you're not traveling anywhere, you're just in one location. Sure, go ahead, film it. Get it back to us. And it ended up being one of the greatest teenage dramas, comedies of all time. Because it's just a beautiful look at the mindset and the social anxieties that teenagers go through. That they went through back in the 80s and that they're still going through today. And it's very easy for someone who is older, who is not in high school, heck, who isn't even in college, not going to classes, to forget about the pressures that you were under when you were that young. Trying to figure out where you're going to go to college. What are you going to major in? What are you going to do with your life? And you're only 15, 16 years old. I have no fucking idea what I'm gonna do. And if I do, the odds of me doing that are so small because so much could happen. I love movies that explore topics like this. And I recommend that you see this movie early in your life. If you're watching this and you've never checked this one out, please, please, please do. I saw it later on in my high school career, and I wish I would have seen this like in elementary school, in middle school. Yes, there is smoking of the marijuana in this movie, so maybe not for younger audiences. Nah, it's fine, it's legal now. I'm gonna give The Breakfast Club 4 out of 5 Blu-rays.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part in my videos where I randomly select which movie I'm going to be watching next, so let's take a look. Okay, I've never seen this one before, and actually, I think another 80s movie here, Fatal Attraction. I've heard stories about this movie. I know that Michael Douglas is here, Glenn Close is here, and there's some cruelty towards bunnies in this movie. From what I know, she is psycho and goes crazy, and because she runs off with another woman, I think, and she wants to kill him for that. I think, I don't know, I've never seen this before. But I'm excited to check it out. So if any of you have recommendations of films that you want me to review on here, please leave your comment below this video, or go to my Facebook page, my Instagram, or my Twitter. Leave your recommendation there, and if I have access to it, I will watch, review it, and give you a shout out on the channel. So everyone, have you seen The Breakfast Club? What did you think about her? Even better yet, what social construct do you align yourself with, or identify yourself with, when it comes to the high school setting? Please comment below, let me know. And if you like what you saw here, if you like my take on movies, then hit that subscribe button. It helps us out a lot. We are trying to hit our stretch goal. We've already hit our main goal of 627 subscribers by the end of 2019. We're trying to now hit our stretch goal of 1,000 subscribers. Can we do it? Well, the year's coming to an end, so it really depends on you. And if you have friends out there that love hearing people talk about movies, or they want to show their support, just send them over my way and have them hit the subscribe button. Because if they do that, I'm going to watch and record myself for watching Arachnophobia, which... It's the 8 legs, and the hairs, and the venom, and the teeth. Nope. Can't do it. So everyone, I will see you next time with my review of Fatal Attraction. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.